From other dimensions to time travel to colliding with other SMPs, Logcraft has had an extensive history of lore. Hello everyone, I'm Cave, and today we are going to go over every aspect of Logcraft lore. Lore has been a large part of Logcraft since most of Season 3 and Season 4, but lore has spanned from Season 1 all the way to Season 5. This video we will go over every pixel of Logcraft lore and explain the meaning behind it. This video will be split into 4 sections: the pre-Season 3, Season 3, Season 4, and the actual story and beyond. Logcraft is sponsored by Bisect Hosting. Use code Logcraft at bisecthosting.com/Logcraft to get 25% off your first month on any game server. In Season 1, Logcraft was small, but it's important to note that in Season 1, Cave and Weefies were members. It is also important to know that a organization called the LIA, which would later be known as the CIA, is created. In Season 2, the CIA was created by Cave again, and this introduced Captain Chairman. In Season 3, Weefies later appeared at a wedding and mysteriously left after to never be seen again. So that's what we know about before Season 3, is that Weefies disappeared, introduction to Captain Chairman, and that there's a CIA. In Season 3, the CIA was made again by Cave and Dallas, and shortly after, Ada's Pro is recruited, and Captain Chairman is there again. Quite a bit later, DGC joins Season 3, and he is recruited into the CIA. Some emergency rockets were built just for no reason, just in case of an emergency, by Cave and DGC after he was recruited. After some routine investigation by DGC finds a mysterious monument. This monument is in Il Jones' base, so DGC interviews Il Jones. Now, Il Jones said that he built a little thing for mining ores, but he didn't make some strange symbols that were on it. So DGC does some more investigation and finds that there's an opening which leads to a strange room with a small quartz structure and spruce door. Now this is the first time we see this little structure. Cave and DGC meet back up to discuss the door. Cave and DGC also investigate the door, and Cave ends up going through it. So what Cave sees and what DGC sees are vastly different. DGC sees Cave go through the portal and then suddenly return a few seconds later. But what Cave sees going through the portal is him being transported to a foreign place known as Dreamcraft, where he is met by the owner of Dreamcraft, Dean, and he gets a tour. During the tour, Cave decides to play a prank and blow up a small building. Dean is understandably very angry and chases Cave back into the portal. When Cave re-enters Logcraft, they talk about what has happened and this new foreign place through this portal. Also during this time, Cave and DGC record a hit music video called Illinois Boat.
Illinois boat. Illinois boat. Illinois boat.
In one of Cave's videos, a Dreamcraft member is seen blowing up stuff in the background. This is the first time we've seen any Dreamcraft member go to Logcraft. So ships are seen going into Logcraft, and Cave makes an emergency broadcast telling all members to leave in the conveniently made emergency rockets. After the ships come, Il Joan is attacked and leaves in one of the rockets with a cob of corn. A radar behind the CIA is scanned and find that a Dreamcraft member is on Logcraft. So Cave captures this said member and locks him in a little prison under the CIA. But the member ends up escaping, which is not good. So, Cave and DGC meet back up again to discuss what they have to do. So they decide to both enter Dreamcraft to see if the portal still works. So, they go to Dreamcraft. They hide but are found by a Dreamcraft member who chases them down and warns of Logcraft's destruction. And they come back through the portal and decide to make defenses. DGC then makes many defenses, such as a TNT launcher, poison doors, turrets. Around this time, some other members get launched in the rocket, such as Boss Builder, Derpy Burger, and Captain Chairman. At the end of a trailer, Cave is heard to yell, "We have to go now," and then an explosion happens.
Did you see? We need to go now!
Now, remember this, because this won't be seen again for a long time. Later, DGC's looking at the radar, and he sees something coming. So, after all the members take off, Cave and Ada's Pro are blowing up a deserted temp town. And Cave and Ada's get a call from DGC saying Dreamcraft is coming. So, the three meet up and they load the tracks. But Ada's Pro decides to leave on a rocket, leaving Cave and DGC to defend. Eventually, Dreamcraft does come down on a rocket and they start blowing everything up. Cave and DGC have an epic brawl against Logcraft, and in the last second, the two make their escape in the rockets. Now, just to note that the audio of Cave yelling, "We have to go now," is not heard during this at all. In space, in the rockets, it is heard that Cave, Ada's Pro, Jace, DGC, and Il Joan are communicating, and they get contact from 3 people to a new planet which they are going to land on. These 3 people that they are communicating with are Nifty Fawn, J48, Infinity. So that is all of the Season 3 lore. In summary, Cave and DGC find a portal, go through it, leads to Dreamcraft, make Dreamcraft mad, and Dreamcraft tries to destroy Logcraft, but everyone makes their escape. In context, these 3 characters. So now moving on to Season 4, which might need a little more explanation because Season 4 is way more complicated than Season 3. So, after the rockets land, they are greeted by the people of Season 4 world, including Nifty Fawn, J48, Infinity, and much more. And for some time, it actually goes completely normal. But a few weeks in, DGC notices a strange bed at his base labeled Evil Bed. He remarks wanting to sleep in it, and he really wants to, but eventually he can't withstand it anymore, and he does sleep in it. And he has what he thinks is a dream, where he goes back to Season 3 and sees a town in Season 3 called Ogden all blown up with new structures built. In this dream, he finds a book explaining information on how Dreamcraft planted the evil bed there and how they are making more evil beds. When he goes back, he tells Cave about it, and Cave decides to also sleep in the bed to see what's going on in the Season 3. But instead of getting sent to Season 3, he gets sent to Season 1. Now, in Season 1, he explores and goes to Weefy's base, where he finds Weefy's there. He starts chasing him, and he has to leave. Now, let's just go over this real quick. So the evil bed that he finds is produced by Dreamcraft and sent to where they think the members are, to try to trap them or to try to transport Dreamcraft. Now, when DGC sleeps in the bed, he's actually transported to Season 3. And this is because what the bed does is when you sleep in the bed, it sends a member to their earliest season. So, when DGC sleeps in the bed, he's transported to Season 3. When Cave sleeps in the bed, he's transported to Season 1. And Weefy's being there shows that Weefy's also slept in a bed at some point. So, eventually, Cave does wake up from her evil bed and tells DGC they realize it's not a dream. So, DGC puts away the evil bed and tries to stay away from it for a while. But eventually, quite some time later, Cave and DGC find a sign asking for help by someone named Blue Tiger the Lion. Now this is one of the attackers from Season 3, so they recognize the name, and they are initially hesitant, but decide to save him. So, they know what the bed does now, so DGC knows that he can get to Season 3 from the evil bed, so he decides to sleep in it to save Blue Tiger. DGC, in the now Season 3 world, finds Blue Tiger in a building where they make evil beds. Blue Tiger explains that he was the one who was making them against his will, but he wanted to leave. So they struggle to find a way out, but eventually they put an evil bed inside a Dreamcraft portal, which brings them back to Season 4. On Cade's side, all he sees is DGC go to sleep, and then suddenly respawn with a strike of lightning where the sign originally was. And they are greeted, and after some talk, they agree that Blue Tiger can stay on Logcraft. Everything goes fine for a while, but then DGC and Blue Tiger both start having hallucinations. These hallucinations are because of them going through a portal which was infused with an evil bed. So some of the hallucinations was, for a split second, DDC sees an evil bed in his smelter building. Blue Tiger has a small hallucination in the basement of one of his buildings. While Cave and DDC are together, DDC notices that there's an evil bed in the shopping district, but on Cave's side, he cannot see it, and he can't see it because it's DDC's hallucination. Blue Tiger has more hallucinations in the same room, and DDC has several hallucinations while building in different areas of his base. And the last minor hallucination is when DDC's bed turns from a red to brown for a bit. So DDC finally has a major hallucination where he starts off his episode unknowingly in the Season 3 world. So after discovering it, he freaks out and frantically tries to escape while going more and more crazy. Now this is just a hallucination, he didn't actually go to Season 3. And when he comes back to consciousness, he's in the smelter room inside the original portal he came out of with Blue Tiger. And after this, he decides that something is very wrong, and he tries to contact Cave about it. So he just finds an old contact device and uses it to contact Cave. And he tells Cave that he wants to set the CIA back up because of all of this hallucinations and all these things happening, and he feels like Dreamcraft isn't done yet. So Cave agrees, and they build the new CIA building. They also bring Captain Chairman back from his rocket and put him in the new building. And they also put up recruitment signs. Now these signs are just to get more members of the CIA, just so they have a bigger force. Now, it's also good to notice that the original three, Nifty Fawn, J48, Infinity, J48, Infinity are still members, and Nifty Fawn has left. So, there is some mysterious figure who contacts the CIA and quickly warns of something coming within minutes of destruction.
Connection terminated.
We are coming. Please, don't trust them. Take shelter immediately.
This mysterious figure was actually J48. Now, Dreamcraft had a spy with Logcraft named Ali J. Dude, and he couldn't get back or contact them, so he decided to blow up Logcraft. Now this address was made by the president of Logcraft, who announced the CIA and made a group to rebuild. Now, DGC and Cave decide to recruit Celtic Gaming from the recruitment board and make him a little office. So that is the last that we see of Season 4. So just a recap, Nifty Fawn, J48, Infinity, out of those three, Nifty Fawn has left, J48 has made contact, and Infinity's doing something else. And we can see that DDC and Blue Tiger have hallucinations, and they make a CIA to try to combat it. And then also Celtic joins the CIA. So Season 4 ended, and so a mini-series that was only lore was made. So we're going to talk about that series and just some notes in Season 5. So, in episode 1, Blue Tiger goes to the CIA, and he just heard down the grapevine that there have been hallucinations that DGC has been having that are the same as what Blue Tiger's been experiencing. So he admits that he sees them too, and he wants to join. So he is recruited as the 4th member into the CIA. Later, Captain Chairman gives the CIA a paper saying to investigate one of the original 3, Finity. So Finity is investigated in his secret lab to see what, and in his secret lab is seen with Dreamcraft-like items. So these things are not exactly replicas of what Dreamcraft sent, but they are very close. Now, earlier, Finity slept in an evil bed, but because it was season 4 and he slept in a bed, and he's from season 4, he couldn't go back. So instead, he just saw quick flashes of what Dreamcraft has been doing and wanted to recreate those. So DGC finally tells Celtic and Cave about those items being from Dreamcraft, and so they ask Finity about it. Infinity tells the CIA that Nifty Fawn left because he didn't like the new people that, just came to his planet, and J48 decided to go far away to watch a radar. Now this is how he knew that something was going to happen and warned the CIA. So then the CIA decides to go and find J48 to confront him as well. Now, there is a post-credit scene where Wi-Fi's or a portal suddenly appears in this new world, which is season 5, and Wi-Fi's leaves the portal and says it worked. So this is showing that Wi-Fi has developed some sort of technology to go to new places. And that Finity, we already know Nifty Fawn left, and that J48 is at some sort of radar. And also that Finity has seen some of the Dreamcraft things. In the next episode, the CIA goes to J48 and they ask him about this radar. So he admits that he warned about the explosion, and the CIA and J48 decide to team up and make the radar way more advanced and better. And they agreed to J48 watching for the CIA and warn them about anything else that comes. So they decide to do a test. A light is set up in the CIA building where it will turn on if anything bad's happening. So while J48 and Celtic are at the radar testing it, they send 3 pings. The first ping did not work, the second ping did not work, but the third ping did work. Now, it's revealed that the 2 previous pings did not go to CIA, but went to Dreamcraft and alerted Dreamcraft of where they were. Now, it isn't revealed yet, but one of the first 2 pings actually didn't go to Dreamcraft, but went to Wi-Fi's instead. So it pinged Wi-Fi's, Dreamcraft, and the CIA. Now, there's also a post-credit scene where Dean is on a ship discussing with an unknown henchman about going to Logcraft. The henchman doesn't agree, so Dean sends him through a hole which throws him out of the ship. And then a final shot of the ship going towards Logcraft. Episode 3 is the final episode in this series, and the first thing we see is that Dean is coming towards Logcraft, and the radar shows that they are coming. So it shows that J48 sees this on the radar and is freaking out, and he flips the lever a lot to ping the CIA. And the light in DGC's office is going on and off and on and off to show that there's something coming from the radar. And eventually J48 just comes really fast and goes to the CIA, and he explains what he saw and that Dean is coming and they need to do something. So after some talking of all of them in the office, they decide that they need to build a missile. So that's what they do. And then it cuts to a news scene, which appears with Cave telling the members the plan that they are going to try to blow up Dean with a missile, and that everyone should meet up and go to the shopping district for their safety. So after this, it cuts to the zoo, and in the zoo there's two people known as Job and DG Bean, who are different colored carrots who live in the zoo, and they feel like something is wrong, and they decide to break out of the zoo. And on their little adventure, they find Keto Jr., and they also find Captain Chairman, and they take them and they decide to go to the shopping district. It then cuts to the shopping district, where there's many members gathered, and they decide to launch the missile at Dean. While the missile is going up there, Dean laughs and decides to reflect the missile and send it back towards Logcraft. Dean has gone crazed and will do anything to kill all of Logcraft. So everyone decides to go crazy in the shopping district because the missile's heading towards them. Now, at the last second, Weefies appears through a portal, and he tells them that they have to go, and all the members run through this portal. Now, then the only people left that haven't ran through it yet are Cave, DGC, and Weefies. So then, after all the other members have left, Weefies finally enters the portal, and DGC looks off and he sees the brown bed for the final time, and he says, "Goodbye, old friend." And with that, the bed disappears. And then Cave goes by the portal, and we hear the iconic DGC, we have to go now from the earlier audio during season 3. And they both enter the portal, and then there's an explosion, and the portal vanishes right before the explosion can get there. Dean is now close to Logcraft right when the missile hits, and while everything is being exploded, the explosion hits Dean, and his rocket also explodes, killing Dean. So now everything in season 4 is all blown up, but there is a post-credit scene of Cave and Weefies talking, and it's shown what happened to Weefies while all this was happening. During the season 3 wedding, before any of this lore really began, Weefies found a bed and he slept in it, which sent him back to season 1, where he saw Cave. In season 1, he started developing and re-engineering the Dreamcraft tech. And what he does with this is he manages to find a new world where he can use the portal to teleport to. So he decides to go and develop it more, and then he got a ping from J48, which let him know that something was coming, maybe. So he went to season 4 and found all the members in the shopping district and the missile and Dean and all this chaos that was happening, and let everyone back in. And at the last second, the portal was able to escape, and they landed in season 5. So, after the series is done, in season 5, the portal arrives in this new world, season 5, and the group leaves the portal. Lots of people leave, including Weefies, and Weefies wishes them good luck, and eventually he goes back through the portal and disappears again. Later, a book is found in a chest, which was left by Weefies, stating that Dreamcraft stinks. Captain Chairman also appears at spawn, and Cave decided to bring him to a skyscraper in the city district so that Captain Chairman can still live on. So that is basically the end of the Dreamcraft storyline. There's no more hallucinations. Dreamcraft is gone. Dean is dead. And that's basically all there is to the lore. So I was Cave. DGC edited this video, so give him a big ol' smooch on the lips. And I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stuff. Okay, I kind of thought about this afterwards, but I wanted to clarify. The lore is broken up into 3 different universes. The first universe has season 1, 2. They're all different planets. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all different planets in one universe. Season 5 is a planet in its own universe, and Dreamcraft is also a planet in its own universe. So, I just kind of want to explain what was happening. So, I'll use blue to represent us. You know, Cave, DGC, you know, normal members. So, they just hopped from one planet to another. And in season 3, they took rockets to this planet. And then they used one of the portals. The portals can be used to go across universes. So what it did is we used a portal here and we got put here. So we physically traveled from here and then we teleported to a different universe. So I kind of want to explain what happened with Weefies. I'll use purple. So he traveled with us, right? And he disappeared in season 3. So what beds do is beds are more teleport within your own universe. So they can't go across universes, but what they do is they bring you to whatever world you're from, I guess. So he slept in a bed in season 3, and so then he went back to season 1. And then what he did was he was there for a bit, and he developed a portal as well, and went to season 5, as you saw in the bonus scene. And then he went back in it, went to season 4 to save us in a different universe, and then came back through the portal. So, and I would also like to say, I'll just put in blue, that when we were in Season 3, or not, when we were Season 4, we used the bed, and I went back to Season 1 and back, and DDC went back to Season 3 and back, just with the bed. And then I want to kind of explain Dreamcraft. So, of course in Season 3, there was a portal to Dreamcraft. I'll use red. That went between these two. So these two went back and forth. And they like came through here. And when we left, they were kind of lost here. And they didn't really know what was going on. And when DDC went back, blue was here. And using the portal with a bed in it, you're able to use it to teleport forward within worlds instead of just to a different universe. So instead of getting sent back to the latest, you go to the current world. So then blue and DDC went in a fused, like a fused thing, and came to here. And so blue's here now, not Dreamcraft. I know it's red, but blue came here, and then Dreamcraft didn't know where we were, so they were here. And then eventually they took ships. They just physically came here, and then they got blown up, so they're dead now. And then we're here. If that makes any sense, then like and subscribe. I just wanted to share that the beds, the beds, you just go back to your first world. And with portals, that's a beautiful portal. You go across different universes. Yeah. So that's about that.
Well, it's quite simple. You know me, a very smart guy who has beautiful hair. Anyway,